Aloha everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Erica and this is Erica's Insights. So today this video is going to be how to navigate Disney if you have a child with autism or any kind of special needs. I am going to share a few tips that I feel that any parent that has a child with autism needs to know. And maybe a lot of people may say, well, that's a touchy subject to talk about. But I have a son and he is autistic, very high functioning. He has been diagnosed with PDD and OS. So this was Ethan's third year at Disney. In the first trip was in 2016 and it was the worst trip ever. I thought everything was going to be okay. I didn't really go in planning anything. My husband's daughter worked at Magic Kingdom at the time and she was kind of, trying to figure out what rides he'd go on. And instead of starting straight down and go through Fantasyland, she's like, no, let's go on Pirates of the Caribbean as his first ride. And he had a meltdown. He was just overstimulated. He was scared. Um, he was just overwhelmed. And on top of that, it was a dark ride. He didn't know what he was getting into. And I said, nope, if we go back next year, I'm going to go planned. So last year was a lot better. We went during Mother's Day. But what I must add here is that if it's your first time doing Disney and your child's on the autism spectrum, start them off slow. Before we did parks, we did character dinings. We started off at the character dining at Cape Maze, and it was really low key, not so much traffic like Chef Mickey's or any of the other ones. It was more laid back, more calm. So he enjoyed that. So I'm going to go over about services for guests with autism. So before the trip, preparation is key. And here are some of the ways that you could introduce your family member to a Walt Disney World vacation. So first off, you want to create a visual for them, a visual schedule for your family. If you're familiar with the PEC system, maybe printing out some PECs and doing a schedule board for them. Include photos of the parks as well as what attractions you may be riding. If your child's verbal, get them involved with the planning. Watch rides through videos on YouTube. That's a big thing. To familiarize your family member with what attractions they're going to come in contact with. This year I did that ever since our first trip with Ethan to Disney. I started YouTubing everything, the POV rides. So I started getting him, used to rides. So we started off small. And then this year, Ethan was able to, he's 12 now, so almost 12. He's 11 and a half, sorry. But I said, okay, Ethan, it's time for you to graduate. Let's get on a ride a little bit advanced. So for him, it was Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. If your child is afraid, ask for the front seat of Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. You don't feel the drops because they're preparing. It's slower. But he did extremely well because I was constantly letting him see the YouTube videos of the rides and things to that nature. Now, by all means, if your child's autistic and they're afraid, please do not take them on Slinky Dog Dash. I am 39 and I was scared because I'm not a roller coaster person, but that is not for maybe your child right now. Also, using maps. Use the maps to familiar yourself with and your family members as far as schedule wise, or pick a meeting area. Remember, you have the hub. If your child wants to just take a break, let them sit. Remember, any child, I feel, in my opinion, should not be doing rope drop to fireworks at night, especially if your child is autistic or special needs, Down syndrome, any special need. That is just, in my idea, wrong. Just wrong. Okay, so what so you're saying, okay, now I'm preparing. Now, what do I need to bring with me? As far as every child's different. At first Ethan was afraid of loud noises, fireworks. He did okay with this year. But bring earplugs or headphones. And when I say headphones, I don't mean those thin, cheap ones. If you could get some good Bose or even the Beats, um, the parks can be very noisy, especially in certain places, and there might be fireworks or announcements on loudspeakers that may scare your child. If you choose to go on fast rides, the sounds from the fellow riders screaming, that could also scare them. Um, what else? Also, bring one of their favorite devices, whether it's an iPad, an iPod, an iPhone, or whatever tablet they have, or something that's security for them. You cannot bring, like, for example, video game, comic book, or anything else that you feel that might distract them and keep them occupied, especially during their wait time. Because remember, even if you do have a fast pass, there's still a minimal wait, and some kids may not be able to deal with the wait. Also, if you register your child at guest services, they will take a picture of your child and they will link your child to their magic band. So if you do not have a fast pass available for the attraction, your child will go to where the fast pass entrance is and ask them that you would like a disability return time, which means they will tell you what time to come back, and it's almost like a fast pass but for your child. And they will ask you who will be riding with your child, and then they will scan each individual family members, but the child must be the one to initiate a comeback time. So always, and it's great for also security purposes. If your child is to get lost, he or she is in the system at guest services, and they take a picture. And I did that last year, and it was great. It worked wonders, especially for the character meet and greets. So remember to do that. Also, bring a sensory toy like a stress ball or any other calming item. If your family member experiences sensory overload to sight, sound, smells, and commotion, then it could become an issue. So try to have them comfortable in any type of situation. When preparing for the process of going to Walt Disney World, getting from your resort to the parks is always going to be a process, even for a typical child. But prepare your family member for encountering each step of the process to alleviate any frustration level that he or she might have. For transportation, familiarize your family member with the mode of transportation you will take every day, whether it's the friendship boat, whether it's the monorail, or just the Disney buses. Especially with the buses, there's a long period of wait. If you're staying at one of the deluxe resorts like the Polynesian or the Grand Floridian or the Contemporary, your main mode is going to be the monorail or also the friendship boat if you're coming from Polynesian, as well as the Grand Floridian. So you want to always, and especially too for when you're going to Disney Springs, your mode could be either a friendship boat or it could be the bus. So you want to familiarize, and that'll be a good thing too if you're using PECs, is to try to get the mode of transportations that your family is going to be using. Um, so, security screenings. Prior to entering each park, you will encounter Walt Disney World security. And this also goes for the monorail, especially in Polynesian, when you're in Grand Floridian, when you're going in the Contemporary as well. You're always going to go through security screening in those resorts. Um, So we will encounter Walt Disney World security, and these screenings can include review of a bag. If you wish to bring, um, and like you're gonna have to obviously go through the screening, pass either a metal detector or a wand. If your child's sensitive to maybe the noise, the buzzing, ahead of time, speak to the security guard, and they can find something that may accommodate your child. As well as during park entrances. There may be a short wait to go through the entrance to the park, again, through security, through the turnstile with your magic band. Prepare your family member to greet the cast member at the turnstile and scare their magic band to be able to go into the park. Some kids are very sensitive as far as touch goes. So if your magic band doesn't scan correctly on the turnstile, a cast member may come with a tablet and may want to, so just let either your cast member know, or explain to your child what the process is. As far as accessibility, Walt Disney World offers many opportunities for customized availability options. So please, again, plan to visit guest relations in the parks on your first day of the visit. So that way they can really further accommodate what is necessary for you as well as your family. Which again, this past August, I really didn't have to do that because he was now familiar with it. But also, if you're into planning your trip with your child, I recommend this book. I really like it. I didn't have to use it, but it's great for me to have as far as clients, potential clients with children. Is the Birnbaum's 2018 Walt Disney World for Kids. They also have one for adults, and it has coupons on the back. So you may want to check it out. They have it for everyone: Disney World, Disneyland, and I believe Disney Cruise. I have not seen one for Alani, but only time will tell. So what I like about this book is it's very personal, more detailed to children. So it'll start off by you're going to Walt Disney World. Great. What to expect? It says here, it says, you're going to Walt Disney World, pack a pen, take this book along. So it's saying, hey, it's encouraging them. You can write in this. It's okay. It has where to look for hidden Mickeys. It tells you as far as ride level, especially for those children that may be scared. Red is wild, purple is funny, blue is wet, yellow is scary, and black is dark. So as they're picking out, maybe if as they're picking out what rides they want to see, they just look at what color code is on it, and I'll show you an example. So it also has a getting ready to go, and it will give he or she what to do, what a simple schedule could be, what to have with you. Learn the Disney lingo if your child is verbal and they have strong communication skills. An Imagineer, what a magic band is, what a cast member is, things like that nature. Countdown to Disney, and then it tells you what you should do. There's always going to be a map in for every park. Okay, so this is something great because if the child is carrying a backpack and you do get separated, they know they have this book, they know they have a map. What you should always do is put a meeting place on where you should go if you were to get if you should to be separated. So for example, here is the Pirates of the Caribbean ride. Under that ride, it says it's a loud, scary, and dark ride. So maybe your child shouldn't go on that if they are afraid or anything to that nature. So I really like this. For Big Thunder Mountain, they have that it's wild. For Splash Mountain, it's wild, wet, and maybe a tad bit scary at the drop. So I really like this book. It has something for every park, for all four parks. It tells you a detail of every ride that's in the park that would be geared for children. And it also tells you as far as food, what there is to eat there, what options there are. So if you're giving your, and also resorts. So if you're giving your child an option for lunch or dinner. You could say, okay, we're here in Magic Kingdom. This is where we can eat, and this is what they have. What do you want? Give them your two options or three options. So it's really a great book. So remember, if your child has autism, plan ahead. It will be great for you as well as your child, and for you to have a magical experience at the Walt Disney World parks and resorts and water parks. There's something for everybody. If you have never been to Disney, or if you need help planning a Walt Disney World vacation and you have a child with special needs, I will leave my email in the description box. I work as a travel agent that specializes in Disney destinations. I book Adventures by Disney, Alani in Hawaii, Walt Disneyland, Walt Disney World, and also Disney Cruise Line. So feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions or for your free quote, and I will be more than happy to help you. But for now, those are some of my tips in traveling to Walt Disney World with a child on the autism spectrum, or even with any special needs. So I hope you found this video helpful, and I hope you and your family have a magical day. Take care. Thank you for watching.